Hello, everybody. My goodness, twice in one week. My God, what's happened? Do you know, I didn't even know what the time of day it was today, actually. I really, well, yeah, this day, obviously, it's Monday. And obviously, my painkillers died down. And believe me, I'm in a lot of pain. And I try not to show it. Well, I don't. Why should I? Why should I? I mean, I've been, as I said, I've been called obnoxious. Well, wouldn't you be in 10 pain? You know? And I don't want any more painkillers because obviously it's not viable. And also, I'd like to speak about, I had something clarified with my memory because obviously 24 years ago, my 9/11, a couple of months, I think it was a month afterwards, obviously it's September 9/11, and obviously mine was October, when the company I worked for nearly killed me. Well, yeah, because I wouldn't do dirty work. I had the skills, but I wouldn't launder money. No. And at that time, my PC skills were brilliant. Well, yeah, I made games and all sorts. But I'm afraid it wasn't to be. And would you believe it, on the day of the accident when the company killed me, and it should have been there in the first place. It was right next to pedestrians, right next to a shopping centre. And we were sitting on a bomb. We were working on a bomb with all the combustionals because it was a turbine engine factory. Obviously, I did the computer work. I did all the work for the maintenance company, and I did all the databases. So when the engines needed their maintenance, when they needed to be, looked at, and this git who I worked for, who was meant to be the manager, he lost millions. He lost millions, absolutely millions, for his stupidity against the guy, my first boss, who was a great man. He was a good guy, and he left. He left to work for on the trains, as an engineering manager. And he didn't know what the hell he was doing because he just came off from shop floor. They didn't find anybody else because the company was on its last legs anyway. No wonder Samsung took over it. Probably got it for a song. Not surprised. Anyway, getting back to what happened was, and I knew that my family knew where I worked. Oh yeah, I've got evil family, real evil mafia family. I don't care if you don't believe me. I'm not bothered. I'm here to survive. My friends believe me because they've seen what I've gone through. That's why I've got PTSD. I don't think PTSD affects everybody else the same, because it doesn't. We are all individuals as far as that's concerned. And obviously with my brilliant memory, I really am. My dad had a brilliant memory. He never got a note. No. That's why he was brilliant in the Air Force, and he was well known and he was well liked. My granddad was well liked, but again, the criminals tried to get a hold of him because he was out in the war, out after the war, and obviously out in Italy, the mafia was rife. I mean, because the infrastructure had gone because of the war. What Mussolini did, people were starving, eating horses, eating dogs, eating everything. That's why this video won't be good for kids, but I think kids need to watch it because they need to know. Right? They need to know. They need to know what reality can be like, and then it won't hit them so hard. I mean, I haven't. The only time I went, the reason why I didn't go loopy lop. No, I didn't, because I had loving parents. If you're a loving parent, your parents should tell you. Well, they should, not the government. Government shouldn't have anything to do with your bloody growing up. And as for school, I was way ahead. And school was no good to me. And they weren't open-minded enough to take somebody as brilliant as me. And obviously, I wasn't a male. I was a lady. I was a girl. You know? Wrong sex. Wrong time. But I never gave in. I won't cow down. At my time, my friend knows, who's same age as me, but obviously she's more like my sister, and my other sisters do, and brothers, and they know. They said it wasn't right the way you were treated, Les. You should have been used for good. Well, I'm using them gifts now for good, to get disclosure, and disclosure in the right way. Not that ETs are going to come and murder us. Because if they're going to bloody murder us, they're going to murder us well. It's laughable. I was looking at, I was watching David Adair on one of his, on obviously talking. And he's an old man, mate, you know. And he's still full of it. Just like my dad, you know. He was, you know, brilliant engineer, Father was. And well, yeah, he was headhunted by NASA, headhunted by loads, but he wouldn't do it. No, he liked being a bit like Neil Armstrong. Why do you think NASA picked Neil Armstrong to be the first man on the moon rather than Buzz Aldrin? Because Buzz Aldrin would have let the cat out the bag, whereas Neil, he must have been. He just wanted to get away. It was that kind of, a bit like my father. My father was like that. You didn't mess around with him, and I used to be the same. I really did. You ask my mother and father's friends, and they won't believe I'm the same. Well, no, I'm coming out in public and I'm telling you all. Well, that's because time's needed. You need to be told the truth. You know that there's a new world order, but they won't get it. ET won't allow it. They don't allow that kind of thing. They stopped it before. Obviously, you've got your good, your bad, and your indifferent, but the indifferent have got a little bit involved now because it's getting a bit too close, you know. And the reason why I watched, I didn't know, and I wish I watched him, and I thought, hey, that's a memory. That's a memory. We were all, when we were on exercise and bloody freezing together in bloody Arctic bloody circle, and it was bloody cold, on exercise, obviously, you know, some wanted to be home in bed with the bloody missus, and obviously it'll be with the kids and all that lot. They didn't want to be away for bloody, I think it was a couple of weeks, or 3 weeks. I don't know, 3 weeks exercise. I wasn't not quite sure. Don't watch me on here, because I'm going back during 80s, and I don't feel any different. It's very funny, isn't it? It's just my bloody body, pain in the butt, you know? And I heard him say, and I thought, hey, I heard that somewhere before. Do you know, it's just clarified what I've just remembered. Why ETs called them dirty pigs. Well, probably in their own language. Well, obviously, yes, they're telepathic. They can learn any language. They can do anything. Believe me. And they have as well. It shows me I knew there was something going on. I knew it. But that's another story. I'll get onto that in a minute. And he said that there was so much. He said, obviously, human waste. I'll call it excreta because that says really more. And also urine as well. You know? Well, where do you think they're going to bloody do it? See, that's it, you see. It was done in such a rush to get to the moon. They didn't think of because they thought they were gods. Scientists don't think like that. They haven't got a body, you know. They're just a mind, you know. But you see, a real good scientist thinks of the body and thinks of the mind. Because they should, well, yeah, they should have waited. Should have waited for an invitation. And that's how it should have been, but it wasn't. You see it in the Bible. Ezekiel went up. Oh, yeah, of course. And do I care that ETs are hanging around being like one of us? No, I don't care. And I think that's what's going to happen. The great revealing time is going to come. And it not be long. Because if I don't call them, I don't trust my governments. I don't, all right, I had the injection, but I chose to have it because I'm quite a poorly laid. So I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. So I'd rather do it. Like having an operation that's going to save you. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So you may as well have the operation. Especially if you're a young person, you know. And I know I'm not a young person, but I need to live to tell you all that I know. And others have told me, and what I've seen, and what I've gone through, and what my family's told me. And you live on a NATO base as a kid. You under military rule, as I said. Anyway, let's get back to David Adair. I'm digressing. My apologies. And I hope some of you gamers who kicked me out the game do watch this, you know. Especially JG, I know you weren't very happy. But hey, I know why. Of course I knew why. And I'm not daft. I've never been daft. I haven't lived this long to be someone to tell me a lie. Because I deducted it was a lie. So there's more to it. And I know what it was. I'm not beefing about the bush anyway. I've gone into another group. And obviously they're a lazy group. So it doesn't matter for me. I'll just get on doing my game. And then maybe I'll go to another one. Because I'm such a high player, you see. Anyway. The thing is the reason why they never went back to the moon was because the excreta, the stink they left. Well, would you like me to come to your home and shit all over your own? No? And piss all over your own? Because they're living there. I know they're living there. I've seen them. Don't sound delusional, because as soldiers, I've spoken to a few soldiers who are involved in ETs and, you know, ufology and all this lot, and they say we just have to go outside and they're there, and they are. You don't have to do meditation. I do meditation, and obviously, yeah, they've helped me. They've helped me a lot with my pain. Oh yes, they have. When I had fibromyalgia, and they had to stick this bloody drip in me. And the young girl, she couldn't do it. And I said, wait, let me just go and let me go off planet. Let me just go off planet. And I did, and she did it. See? And that's because the poor girl was being kicked in the teeth, well, by this bloody old battle axe, you know. So, another thing as well, and I think that's why the Russians never went. I think that's why they knew, you know. And America hasn't got bases on the moon, as others have. Obviously, there's no different for them to live in with old ancient buildings because it's their ancestors. No different to us. Not well, you know, it's like us knocking over, you know, I don't know, the Colosseum, bashing down the Colosseum. So it's obviously there, and it's ours. We are them. They are us. Don't kid yourself. Because what I have found in my investigation, some look like us. And even some scientists are saying, well, they could have rolled like us, you know. Oh, yeah, because this is little drip, drip, drip disclosure. I've had disclosure all my life. I've just not been able to talk about it. Because if you spoke about anything like that, even when we came off the camps and Dad brought his own, Dad brought our own home, you know. We're still under, still under Official Secrets Act. And if I did, the men in white jackets and obviously the bloody what's her name would have taken me. In them days, they did. You didn't have the Mental Health Act. So how can you have the new world? Because they're just as not as Elon Musk, Google, because something big is going to happen to the rich, the filthy rich. They're the ones that's pissed up our planet. But we listen. If NASA hadn't have gone so quick, or we'd gone as a whole, all of us represented, everyone, colour, creed, whatever, we would have had this. Because the top echelons of ETs, and believe me, they are powerful. They don't need weapons. They don't need bodies. They do get bodies because they're shapeshifters. Because they are. It could be anything. I think they have come into my life and they haven't revealed themselves who they are, but they've been humanoid. And they've helped me as something medical. Because I shouldn't be here. I've nearly died 30 odd times. Why am I still here? Can I prove it? Yes, by the sake I'm bloody in. And also, if you see me in a PTSD mode, when I go out sleepwalking or if I'm gone off one. And then they say I can be obnoxious. Excuse what I've seen and what I've gone through. I have every right to be. But I'm not obnoxious. I tell you the truth. That's not obnoxious. And as I said, when David Adair actually said this, he clarified what we were all talking about on an exercise, I remember. I mean, I was in the army for 5 years and medical discharged me. They should have done that. My friend bought herself out because the same thing happened to her, happened to me. And we weren't going to stand for it. No. I'm not saying, I'll leave that to your imagination. On no officer's bed blanket, thank you. I like to be known for me, my brain. I'm a brain rather than a body, you know. And obviously, yeah, nice looking lady. So was my mate. But you don't. No, you don't. You don't use your power like they did. When I was at school, and it was mostly all the forces children in the school. Loads was covered up. Loads. Absolutely loads. And I was part of that as well. And they're going to move me to another school. It was too late. That's why I learned nothing at school. I learned it all myself. I should have been a scientist. The mind I've got. Well, I was wrong. I was a lady, not a woman. And I wasn't going to do it. No, I wasn't going to be told. My dad always told me that. He was a great man. He was an equal man. Very. He didn't care who you were, as long as you were good in art and spirit. But you did him once, like me. You do me once, and that's it. You know, that is it. I'll forgive you, but I won't forget, and I won't have anything to do with you. That was during the Cold War, that was, you know. Niet. And obviously, the generals on the American side, you know, Pentagon. I call them the Pentiguns. ET told us to get rid of all our military because we don't need it. And all our bombs. We don't need these nuclear bombs. We don't need these proton bombs. We don't need nothing like that. We only opened our mind up. I'm a very peaceful lady, but I have seen war. And I've seen what war does to families, and I've seen what war have done to personal. I've seen the worst of us beings. No, I call them humans. I'm a being because I believe in all. And I try not, I couldn't. Yes, I could have killed. Yes. But thank God I didn't. Because I could have gone on a rampage because my country did not look after me. But again, I think ETs had a part into that and said no, because they saved my life when I was 3 years old. Nobody knew who saved me. My mum, obviously, she probably was in a state, and obviously they made her forget, but I never forgot because I was a child. I mean, you know, and also I was dying at the time as well because I should have been, we were in Malta in the 60s on a NATO base, on a NATO vehicle, obviously a naval launch with NATO soldiers, obviously friends. And the reason why they took us on that launch and other kids was because we were going to leave Malta. We were based in, well, we had a home in, and we had a flat in Valletta, well, actually Salima. And obviously, Dad worked at RAF Luca. He was a brilliant engineer, and that was the time when he was being headhunted by NASA, and he wouldn't go. He did not want to go. No, because he was a man of conscience. He didn't want to make money. You can't take it with you. You might leave it to charity, but what's the point of having loads and loads of money? What's the point of having that? I'd rather be known for something I've done for peace, to stop this between us all. Stop this tribalism, for goodness sake, between us all. We all hurt. We've all gone through hell, you know? And it will be you, the youngsters. Plus, I don't trust the food. I don't trust anything. I never have done. That's why I became a vegetarian when I was a vegetarian about 10 years old. Near one, we never ate much meat. So it was very easy. And I didn't like meat. I didn't like eating meat. As far as I was concerned, I was eating me. I was eating my cat. I haven't seen my cat. Like eating her. I couldn't eat her. I'd rather eat stones. I'd rather eat something else, you know? Because I love all. It's funny, isn't it? Come from this vengeful, nasty lady who could have really destroyed a city. And she could have done, but she didn't. Again, I think E.T. got involved there. Because, as I said, I've nearly died. Well, the start of it, when I was born, I nearly died of scarlet fever. My brother did have it as well. But them days, you died of it. I think I might should have been taller than this, actually, because I grew when everybody said you wouldn't grow. I grew a little bit. I was always 5 foot. And then all of a sudden, I grew a bit, 2 more inches when I was in my adulthood. 20s, I think. Later, middle 20s, I did. Because, you know, we don't know what these, because they used to kill us. And obviously, as I said, I had it, and I think that might have been with scarlet fever as well, because apparently I could not perspire, and there was something the heat would have killed me eventually in Malta. So we were being sent home. So that's why we're on these naval launches. Please excuse me, I digress. I've got a brilliant memory. My mind goes all over the place. You watch some David Adair. He's the same as myself, but I wasn't recognised for who I should have helped, you know, what I should have worked in. But I did work in eventually. I worked as an archaeologist, but I went through the back door. I did volunteer for digs, and then I did my qualifications. So I believe in forbidden. I don't believe in history. I don't believe in prehistory. I believe in pre-past. So as I said, I wasn't good. So that's why they took us on this launch. And other kids came, and my brother came. I had this Pacific rubber ring that fitted me. Mum and Dad got me a really good rubber ring, and I remember it very, very well. And yellow and green, and it had a seahorse. But my brother forgot it. I think he might have done it on purpose, but hey, we are estranged now. He's not a nice person at all. Like all my family, except on my mum's side. And my dad's side, yeah. Anyway, so all the bloody men bugged off, you know, the forces guy bugged off because they all took the kids on and they left me and Mum faffing around with this stupid rubber ring somebody loaned in me, and obviously it was too big for me. So anyway, Mum got us onto the Lilo. There was no one aboard that naval launch. We had to dock out further out because another naval launch was there. So we had to dock really out at sea. So it was fathoms deep, absolutely fathoms deep. Beautiful sea then, beautiful sea, nothing like it is now. Obviously, Mum said, get on this Lilo. And obviously we got on the Lilo. And I had the rubber ring around me. And I don't know how I did. Mum said I might have been wiggling around, well, you know. And I fell off it. And I drowned. My mum couldn't get to me. She tried to, but she couldn't get to me because you know what you're talking of a Lilo, you know. And it was fiddling around, and mum could get me. She's like coming up and going down, because you do come up and go down, you know. You bob up and bob down. All I can remember, and a few more bits I'm remembering, because as I said, I've been catatonic and amnesic for 20 years, and I've only just started coming back about 2 years ago. Your memory doesn't come back all at once, believe me, and not my brilliant one. And I still remember that I saw what was great big huge translucent fish to me. I was 3 years old, you know? And I can't remember going whatever happened, but I do remember being with beings that felt like my family. They really felt like my family. I don't know how they saved me. I don't know. I really don't know. There was no probing or anything like that, like some other people say. No. And I wasn't frightened. I wasn't frightened at all. I want to share this with you because why did they save that little girl? Oh, there's no one there because me and my mum lied, and Dad knew we'd lied, you know, because he said he didn't believe it because we lied about when we spoke about Mum spoke about the drowning. She said a man came back, swam about 15 miles out to sea, or 20 miles out to sea, to get your packet of cigarettes when he could have catched one off his mate. No, there was no one there. My mum obviously couldn't remember, or she was made to remember that. Not made, but because my mum was nothing like me. She was frightened of the unknown. I was like my dad. My dad was never frightened of the unknown, and he had the unknown that happened to him as well, because we are a family of contactees with ETs, even our prehistory. It goes back as far as the Roman times. Right? I know my family from Roman times. I didn't like the Romans. No, I don't like the Romans. No. As far as I'm concerned, and yet it was Rome that took it back, because Rome stopped. I'm going to try and tell you something. Why we're in such a state? Because us ladies were not treated equally, and races and other races, but mainly because of us as ladies. And it was all due to men and their egos. We were the first of this. We're first in the Christianity, first in Muslim, first in whatever, first in what. I don't give a toss. You've ruined. You haven't ruined. We still have time, but we have to accept help. And our leaders won't have that, because their power goes. We won't need money. We won't need nothing. And I know that because I've had contact with ETs all my life without me knowing. Because I'm a very spiritual lady. I was nearly a nun, actually. But I decided not to, because I didn't want to be a nun. I wanted to be a vicar. And we weren't allowed to be a vicar in the Church of England. So that put the poof up me. And also, one of my great aunties, she was two great aunties. One was a missionary out in China, and the other was a nun. And she did an awful lot for the homeless in London, and also during the war as well. And I did meet her, and she was an amazing lady, really amazing lady, and very spiritual, very and truly believed. And I do, as long as you believe in a more of a powerful, and they won't harm us. For goodness sake, they would have harmed us bloody donkeys ago. And our leaders are too frightened. Look at the way they dealt with COVID. Yeah, I agree. All right, I agree that we should, but getting more power over us, but they won't have a new world order, because we're too diverse, and there's somebody else more powerful that don't want it for us. And I know this to the start, because you know that the Mayans predicted that 2012, that and I hope to have the work to show you. I hope you might not be able to, but you can't disagree with the colours, and you can't disagree from where it came from and the lies behind it. Not my lies, their lies, NASA's lies, all the space people's lies, and the Pentagons and our leaders. And you all know that. And the thing is, and I'm just a normal person like yourself. My hands are really painful, so that's why please excuse me. I can do it that one, but I can't do that one. I know it's because it's cold out there, and but I won't be deterred. I will not be deterred. And I do exercises with my hands, and I really push them into a fist. That's what kind of lady I am. So I take a lot of pain, and also I feel the pain of the world as well. I really do feel the pain of everybody in the world, what they're going through. And I'm not aggressive. I'm not a passive aggressive. Someone called me a passive aggressive. There's no such thing as passive aggressive. That's a stupid word. Absolutely not. It's passive truthfulness. I'm very truthful. I can't lie. I can't lie for bloody toffee. If I start lying, I go, oh, bloody hell, I can't tell you the truth. I just can't, you know. And that's me. And that's my dad as well, you know. My brother and my mum, they lied a bit more. My brother, don't get me on him. As I said, can stay the other side of UK as far as I'm concerned. As I said, I live in UK. And not in very good conditions. Well, getting better. But that's because my own country, if it wasn't for COVID, I would have been dead. Not of COVID, but of neglect. But then I know myself, I had years of it. Years. And so did my mum. My mum died of neglect. And she was a wonderful lady. Amazing lady. Amazing military lady. And also my dad. A load of the NCOs died as well. And they tried to cover that up as well. And they shouldn't have died, including my father. So it's all coming out, isn't it? Oh, yeah. So have I got proof? Yeah. My mum got compensation from the government. But it was all hush, hush. They don't want to lose their power. There's nothing worse than a career-driven, paid politician. Nutcases, absolute nutcases. They ain't got what's the name, but no, they haven't. Now, somebody who is like in our politics, somebody who works hard for his constitution, you know, for the place where what he is doing, and he doesn't want, and he just, you know, and he loves. Look, they are a true politician. And why haven't we got? I believe that if there's a power over us, which shouldn't be anyway, some need it. Of course they do, but it's not that. The leaders and the military have treated us all, well, not me, I've known, all you like children. And it's so wrong, so wrong. And I will have proof on film from my camera what is connected between Apollo landing and my photo that I took a few months ago, and I'm still working on it. And I will show you that film. Obviously, I'll depict. I'm doing it, but look, I'm ill. You know, excuse me. You know, I'm a vegetarian. I was a vegetarian at. Well, you've probably read some of it. I was a vegetarian at 12. I told you I couldn't eat people. I couldn't eat. No. And I told you we didn't eat that much meat anyway because we couldn't afford it. See, that's it. You see. Protein builds brains. No, it doesn't. Open-mindedness brings out brains. And I am psychic. We all are. Every one of us on this planet is psychic. You don't have to be special to be psychic. We all have it. We all have that gift. All life on Earth has that gift. You can see it. I've seen it with the chemtrails, with the birds. Oh, I've studied because obviously instead of just laying there in bed bound, I'll get out of bloody bed and I'll go and watch. I'll watch nature. I'll watch the skies. I'll watch the skies. I'll probably go out and have a look outside when I'm probably finished here. But I like it when all the lights are out, you know, because the lights around the other houses, you know, and the streets. I like the street housing, street lights out. And that's good that they do that. I just can't do it to the roads, but they do it to the street lighting. And I prefer to be in that dark than in the dark in my own house. Well, in any house, in any building. I don't like dark in any building. No. Because, you know, our buildings take essence from us. And they do. They do. We leave a part of ourselves in any form. You look at the Red Indians and you see how the Americans treated the Red Indians. Right? And that's because they wanted the power, they wanted the oil, they wanted the gold, they wanted this. Anyway, as I said, I still don't know. Well, I do know. I know now. Because I'm in contact with them most of the time. I don't have to know. I've seen so much strain, and I will show you. And even one of my friends said, hey, it's not just one, is there? That's actually on the floor. I said, yes, they are on the floor. Yes. So, and then I took some photographs, and I'll take photographs. I do have a stand, because obviously our hands shake. You can rectify that in Photoshop, but then some people might say that you're tampering. But I'm not. I don't tamper. I don't tamper at all. Because when you lie to others, you're lying to yourself. And I've never done that. Why do I want to lie to myself? And, you know, if I've got cancer, I don't want to lie, so I won't lie to myself. I say, right, I've got that, so I'm going to try and do what I can to beat it. Because one of my friends, my helpers have turned into my family. That's how much they love me, you know. And it's strange, isn't it, that when everything is all dark and horrible, and all of a sudden the light comes on. Because the lady that helps me, and I met her through COVID as well, really strange, you know. The COVID has its bad and its good points, you know. You've got to think of it that way. It saved me by giving me my helpers. Well, the government paying for some of the help. Well, I have to pay for some, you know. And that's what it's like. We don't get free help. We don't get free help for our disabilities. No, I'm not going to call it disability. I'm going to call it in a different way. I can do it, but it'll take me a bloody long while to do it, but I'll bloody do it. Pain or no pain, you know, discomfort or what discomfort. And I think that is how I've been trained in the army, because I do think they make you more psychic. Well, you've got to be. They switch on something. They switch on, obviously, and that's why I think soldiers do see it. And when soldiers do come out, and they're allowed to, they come out and they're telling you the truth. You're getting the real truth about the moon landings and why. And they got no moon base on there, believe me. Not if they left all that pile of shit and urine stuck in there. And they did. Where do you think this massive? Where do you think? See, when they didn't have no technology to get rid of our wastage. And they left it all on the planet. They left it all on the moon. And obviously ETs ain't going to pick it up. They're wondering what they might get off it. Huh? And that's men. Women were not about, as ladies, I don't call myself a woman, right? No woman should call themselves a woman, because I don't like this man on the end, thank you. Call me a femme. I don't like the male. See, even our language is so unequal, because it is all written by males. I hate males. I've got some very good, my matey, one of my mateys, he's got cancer, and he's trying to do it the way through, not plants, not buying stuff from these so-called places, supermarkets that say made from plants. No, I don't do that kind. I've made my own. So I know what I'm going, and I'm going to make my with these bags and real soil from the land, because my friend can get me some, because his farmer said he can get some. I'm going to make my own veg. So it's going to be my own vegetables. My own vegetables. You can do them in bags. And then you keep the seeds. You make them go to seed. You don't need to make. You don't need. You ask your elders, and they will tell you. You don't need to buy seeds. You wait for them to seed. And I've done it. My dad did it. He made his own seeds. In fact, he made his own hybrid species. of seed, of bean. But somebody else took it off him. Oh, yeah. See, that's my dad. But he didn't bother. He didn't bother him. No, because he knew what he knew. And he made that man feel that small. I've done it. I've done the same thing when somebody's taken my ideas. How did you, and I'll go up to them, how did you get that idea? What made you think, and they don't know because it's not their idea. That's what you do when somebody steals your ideas. And obviously, like Mr. Microsoft, well, he's not Microsoft anymore, but Bill Gates. He stole Microsoft from somebody else and he paid them off. These wealthy gits aren't geniuses. Because they're not. They're nothing. They steal others' ideas. They steal it off the genius. Well, all the patents was taken by, of Tesla, was taken off. Well, that's what they're using, Tesla's techniques. But they're not using it for the good stuff. They're not doing it for us. We are the majority. They are the minority. They are 1%. We are 99. And one day, I think we should all be pacifists and not go to work. We make our own food. We say, no, we're not letting them. But I think something's going to get involved more than then, because they've got to. Because obviously all this ego-ness, I don't care if, all right. I was in a Cold War, but that was my profession at the time. I was a cook, believe it or not. And obviously, but I've learned, because they haven't helped me for my service to my country. And they do that to us veterans. And so you can understand, I become a complete pacifist. All right, if you try to kill me, I'll have you. I have done it. But I don't want to. Because that means I go in, no way. Not after what I've seen. You have to see real war, and then you don't want it. We saw films that no civvy saw. And I think all these elite and idiots need to see them films. What nuclear and also protons and shitty war does. It's not glorified at all. And I lost a lot of loved ones. I lost the man I would have married. But am I bitter and twisted? No. I want you all to learn. That's not the way. Why can't we all have a good, no drink, no alcohol, because obviously alcohol is not good. Maybe a little bit, but not a lot. We all don't get plonked, because that starts bloody battles and things. But partake of all different foods, drinks, not alcoholic drinks, maybe a little, but not a lot, because I don't drink. All right, I might have had the odd, but I can't take it. I don't like it anymore, And when I did drink, because I call myself an alcoholic, they said, no, you weren't. You're using it because you weren't being helped, because they didn't accept PTSD. Well, that's what slow COVID is, PTSD and fibromyalgia, because you get it when you've come back from a life-threatening thing. But I've gone through too many life-threatening things, and I don't know why I'm still here. Because I know somebody else, something far, far higher than all the bloody leaders and all whoever they are. I don't care who they are, all over the bloody world. I don't care. They're far higher than you. And they don't like it because they lose their power. That's why they won't disclose. And I've got disclosure. I know it. So I don't need to. I just need to hopefully show you this information. If you want to subscribe to me, you're more than welcome. Because I will have this, but please, I'm ill. And obviously, it's not a good time of year for any of us, is it? We don't like this time of year. It's better when we see the spring and the greenery and the sun come out a bit more. But they're even messing around with that. And I know I'm being looked at because when I phone my friend who worked for the Pentagon, we get listened into. And obviously we wind them up. And they're even more fun. Oh, yeah, we make fun. What you do? You make fun. You don't go out in the streets and bash poor policemen. They've got a job to do. They have no, they got no, some aren't good. But then you get the good to come over to your side, to help you. You're not talking of a war. You're not talking of revolution. You're not talking of something that will happen. French Revolution was terrible. Russian Revolution, terrible. You don't do it that way. You do it in a way of knowledge. You all get together and you all get this knowledge and you all get others to join. It's like somebody said in America there was going to be 1 million people that was going to go over. Well, the soldiers, some soldiers might have shot, but their own soldiers would have stopped them. Because they can't go against us, because we are the majority. They need us more than we need them. Do you know that? That's what they've got against us. And see, what they do is they turn us against all of us, like we're tribes, but we're not tribes. We're brothers and sisters, just like ETs. There are brothers and sisters. Or I'm not. I have never asked personal details. I don't know their names. I don't know what, but I am seeing them. But I don't want to know. Because I actually said, I'd like to meet you all. There you go. All right, I'm a delusion nutter. But no, it's actually, if you think about it, it's more believable. Because I haven't said the names of them. The names of what they are. I haven't asked. Not until I meet somebody. I have contact, real contact, physical contact with somebody. Will I ask them? So like you, I don't like doing it over the line. I like to see, hello, I'm stuck in my house, bedbound and housebound, but I like to see folk. Come on in, have a cup of tea, Or if you, but I don't, whatever. But it is true. That's why they never went back to the moon, because they were told, leave. Now, if they had gone and they asked us ladies, we would have said, where'd you throw it all? Being there. Or you ask for contact. They obviously said, just pick a few stones and go. And they didn't. They outstayed their welcome. And obviously left all their mess. Look at all the money they left on the moon. Huh? You can get your own telecoats and you still see it. Oh, they went. But they went too quickly. And then men could have died. They knew that. And while they picked Neil Armstrong, and I have known this, but I'm so glad that David Adair clarified it for me. Because we heard it in the forces. Dad heard it in the forces. Because I come from a long line of military family, but also spiritual, also nun, 2 nuns, priest. Would you believe it? A rabbi. I'm going back as far as that. What's wrong with that? And although at that time, if you are a Gentile and you married into a Jewish family, they said they would have nothing to do. No, not my great-granddad did. No. Because my great-auntie May told me. Great, I think, yeah, you get all muddled up with all great-greats. But it's true. And she nearly lived up to 100 years of age. And she went blind. She was blind, but she still had her mental faculties. And you have a third eye. Believe me, I have it. We all have it. We just have to open our minds. Forget about what Fluffy says and what our leaders say and whatever and what we should be doing and everything. take time out to think, to meditate. I know it's bloody hard, I know, but I used to meditate. My dad used to meditate, even though he was a very, 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 very busy man in the forces. And he's a very honoured man as well. You don't get that. That's why NASA got the most honourable man that ever went to the moon. They couldn't have Buzz Aldrin because he'd be going, and he let it out. Probably pissed as a newt. Well, yeah, that's what they do. And they play games as well with what they do with their photographs. But I'm damn good at puzzles. Very good. And I don't give in. And because of this, it's taken me a while, about a year, I'd say, to get to this conclusion. And I took a picture, and there's so many abnormalities in the sky, it's no joke. And I'll tell you no word of a lie, because we were going to be hit by something that was very dangerous from the sun, and it would have cooked us. Too right, cooked all of us. But do you know what? All the elite and all the gits faces, right? All the leaders, I noticed it was very quiet because I was in hospital. And I kept saying, it's a bit quiet. I know on TV, it's a bit quiet on, and even David Adair. He's a recognised rocket, brilliant. Well, if you think you ought to think of him, I could have been that, but I wasn't allowed. I had so many ideas, and also I do know there is a way to get rid of our sewage, and they did do it. They did do it, but they stopped it, and that was our water board. They stopped it because I saw it as a kid. I saw it as I was leaving school, and they gave us a trip to this sanitation plant that actually had these worms that actually ate the sewage and cleansed the water. See, what we have natural, and ETs live like that. That's why they live in a utopia. Oh, she never did. They lived like us, and then they learn, you see. Thank God someone's protecting us, because probably there are some hostile ETs, but they're keeping them away from them because they're what we have read in the Bible as the watchers is keeping an eye on us, and maybe higher, because some have been indifferent because they're so powerful. But now the powerful ones are the hey up, because we cannot have another Mars, and Mars did not happen when they said millions of years ago, because my granddad told me that, because he did secret missions and during the Second World War, when we should have been allied all for you, but it's all your neighbours, all your leaders. Because Hitler was an evil man, but there are still Hitlers out there. We need to keep them. Sorry, what you do, you change their mindset. They're sick and they're ill. Because most of these rich gits, right, they go to their psychiatrists or their shrinks or whatever you want to call them, and they, oh, nobody loves me. Well, you won't do. Get rid of your bloody money. Give it to bloody charity, and don't make money on it. Give your money away, and I mean away, because you don't need it. Because you're not going to get to the moon. Not the way you are. No. Filthy rich. And I should know because I worked with them. Because when I came out of the army, I did anything. And then I couldn't use myself physically, but I used myself more mentally because computers started coming in. WordStar, BBC Basic, and that's how I started. And obviously it took away my talent, which was a secretary, shorthand secretary, shorthand typist, because word processing took it away. But I decided to turn that around, make it and learn, and then get more involved. What got me more involved with computers was when I used CAD as an archaeologist. And I went into the volunteer, but they could see what I was like. I had a great ability to know what was under the earth. Psychic. Telepathic. I am telepathic. But I had to be quiet about it because I lived on a NATO base, and I didn't want to get my dad into trouble as well. We were under martial law as children. We were during the Cold War. And obviously, the one thing I need to tell you is what would have happened in 2012. The actual what the Mayans said was right. What the actual Mayans actually said was right. Men would have all the species and all as beings would have died out by 2012 and the 21st as well. And I heard that somewhere else in my time, and then I hear it again from David Adair. And obviously, you have to excuse me, I've been in the dark for nearly 20 odd years, and I've come back. And I think it's a good time I've come back. Not to be famous or anything. I don't want to be bloody famous. I don't want no of this. I want to tell you, your youngsters, to learn from us. You know, learn from your grandparents and listen to them how to recycle and how to get note out of note. You know, I did. I know how to survive. I know how to make my own bloody weapons out of not guns or anything, nothing man-made. Make it out of whatever you got. Oh, you see, and that's because of what man I was going to marry. He was the best of the best, and he was. But he was a good man. He was a good man. But he got killed. Did I blame the authorities then? No. It was war. But I blame the authorities for what they've done to my mum and dad. And they tried to kill me. Tried to shut me up. No, you can't shut me up. Even on my death. No, not what the work I've left behind. And my friends won't let it go anywhere near, won't let my computer go anywhere near anybody. It's all on here. My work. And I hope to get it out, and I will get it out. Don't you worry. I've got Nero. So I've, well, no, I don't want to do it on this. I'll do my own. I've got me, you know, I got it on good price on, and I don't like Amazon, but I don't buy off Amazon. I just buy off real, you know, small businesses. See, he got all the small businesses working for him, and he's a horrible man. I mean, obviously, I shouldn't make the joke, but I make a joke of my own disability problems. I mean, you know, I walk like a bloody. If I walk on my own, I walk like a bloody shat myself. I'm like that, you know, because we're not meant to be perfect. Our imperfections endear us to the most powerful in ETs, because they know we need them. And they want us, but the idiots that won't think too much of money and power that is destroying, not the world, destroying life on Earth, this beautiful planet. We stick out like a sore thumb out in the bloody galaxies. This beautiful blue, we're unique. That's why they fought over us millions of years ago. You can see it. You have a Mahabharata, and obviously, yes, because I've read. You know, when I wasn't very well, I read books. I'm a typical bookworm, and yet at school they said I couldn't read or write, and yet I read and write. I started writing and reading better than my brother when I was about 2. Told you. My friend said to me, "Letty, you're a genius." I said, "Yes, but I was the wrong sex." My brother, he was treated how I should have been. But I was. You get married and you get somebody to look after you, you know, and have children. No, I couldn't have children anyway. The way men treated me in the past. Well, yes, but I don't hate you men. I don't hate my mate. He's going to go for a real heavy operation, poor soul. I wish ET could do it for him. He's got to be split down from there to there and opened up like a petal because he's got a stomach that is too big and it's killing him. He's got that operation on the 25th, bless him. And he just came, and he was saved by ET, but they do leave. I don't know why, because they didn't heal me all. Because I've had fibromyalgia since I was born. I was born with it, with asthma, but I wasn't diagnosed. And also ME. I've got other things wrong with me as well. I mean, I'm allergic. I'm allergic to a lot of man-made stuff, and that should tell you a lot. Because that's why we are. That's what's happening to the wildlife. That's why they're dying, or they're looking, not right, they don't look right. Yeah, you've got, that's with cancer. Well, yes, because what they've done, all the experiments, and also the filthy rich. I'll never forget. And I probably said this on another video, but you haven't seen the other videos. So, when I was working as a travel rep out in Spain, I was in Bellamadna, not Bella Medina, like some. I learned Spanish. I'm bilingual. Well, I'm more than bilingual. I'm a polyglot. I knew many languages, but don't ask me now because I said I only just started talking English after many years in the black, many years of not knowing who I am, catatonic amnesia. I should never come back. It's a miracle itself to come back like me, I mean, there's still some I can't, and there's some things that I went through last year was, never realising that my brother never liked me, he hated me, and he told me to go and kill myself, told me to die. Oh, lovely brother, isn't he? Huh? My family as well tried to kill me. But I'm here. Huh? I'm here by miracles, and they're not. And obviously, let me think. You have to excuse me because obviously I have come back, but as I said, like David Adair, when you are brilliant, when you are thinking and thinking and thinking, do I stop thinking? Yes, when I meditate. And I do meditate because I meditate my pain away, But you do know that, as I said, I'll go back to 2012. Please forgive me. You would be a bit fractured if you'd gone through what I went through and treated like the way I had. And I can prove it as well because I've got I took them to court. I took the government to court and I won. Not money. I won. They wanted money out of me. I wasn't going to give it to them. Not for nearly killing me. Thank you. And they had enough money out of my mother for nothing when they're meant to be looking after her. That's how we treat our elders. My mother, I learned a lot from my mum. I learned a lot from my dad because they were both equal. He treated her as an equal, and obviously she learned from him. He learned from her. That's what we're meant to be doing. It's a partnership, and that's what should have done. What should have happened with ETs. We wouldn't be in this situation now. We'd have free. We wouldn't have to pay for electricity. We wouldn't have used gas. We wouldn't have used anything like what you all know this with what Tesla had, but they used it all into weapons. These chemtrails to do with HARP. I think in Russia yours is called woodpecker, and it's the same technology. Messes around weather wars. Oh, we're going to make it rain there. But I saw it. I saw it when I was a kid, when they first started it. They made it rain in Malta and they made it rain in Cyprus. And we were there when the war happened. And it was a war between, why do they say it real? There was a war between Greek and the Turkish over Cyprus. And they never said that Turkish troops came into Limassol. They won't talk about it. Again, cover up. And I'm telling you the truth. And I'm not the only one. There's been others who were in the military and they said the same. I'm saying it for them as I know myself. Because we could have been killed by the bullets when they were strafing. And they were hitting the walls. And my mum shouted at us to get in. Dad was on camp. Dad was at Akatiri. And then obviously they evacuated us. Thank God. The Turkish Crescent, which was obviously Turkish Red Cross, and the United Nations escorted us across no man's land to get us to Akatiri so we could go home. But our friends, we went to see them. And obviously I went back to Cyprus and I didn't like it. I could feel the pain. I could feel the fracture in the land. And it's true, I do. I don't lie. I can tell you now because, you know, we can say anything. Thank God for that. But how long do they stop that? And we must not. Also, ET is infiltrating and they don't like it. No, they don't like it. They have. They've been watching us, and obviously the higher echelons are a little bit, and they're involved. Because I know this planet has changed orbit. Because I was an amateur astronomer when I was younger, and I haven't forgotten. And I used to watch Sky at Night, Patrick Moore. He was my hero, he was. He really was. I used to watch him every after the news, before going to bed, he always came on TV. And I watched him. And I didn't watch much TV either. Well, no, I didn't want to. Books were far better, you know. And so how I know that is what David Adair said. And obviously somebody along the Great Line also said at this particular time when these rays were going to all killers and all the arseholes were all underneath shivering like their shit faces, the elite, leaving us to be roasted. Thank God for ETs. Oh yes. Because apparently it got disclosed that they saw a huge craft, nothing they've ever seen before. Because all different species of ETs, loads, many intelligent. I said more than us, and obviously NASA. Well, yeah. But what have they done without us all, huh? Can you imagine the filthy rich trying to clean their own clothes when it got bad? Or repair their own washing machine? Or do their own carpentry with a nail, hammer and a nail? Oh, I can't get my nails done. Oh, look at my nails. Oh, look, I've hurt myself. Oh. Stupid. And that's what it would have been. And what would they survived? They survived with each other, and they've got biggest ego. You'd have World War III underneath the bloody earth. They wouldn't have survived. No. Because they can't do without us. Because we are more than they are. Because we have open minds. We see reality. But apparently, I don't think they shifted the earth. And that's why the poles are moving. Because I've looked at star systems that I remember and they don't look right. And I'm not the only one. My friend also, who used to work for the Pentagon, they, no, it's not her. They, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying no say. I know a few. I'm going to, I'm forces. And I'm coming out. They said, and a couple of them have said, that they do, that they say the sky don't look right. And when they've told others who have no sense of being open, they don't believe them. And I said, I do. And we've all said it together. We all do. We have changed orbit. They had to change our orbit. So when they want to kill us, we have to have all this space shit, defense. No. It's who's going to control this planet and have intergalactic war with... Don't get me on it. Don't make me laugh. I'm being serious. No, honestly, I mean, you know, it is hilarious to me because I know what they're capable of. They saved me. They saved my friend. They've saved others. I'm not the only one. And if any of you are like that in the world, subscribe to me. Talk to me. You know, I don't mind because I'm not afraid. Why should I be afraid? I'm not afraid of anything on this, any of these git faces. Not afraid of any leaders. Not afraid of anything. Oh, they can kill me. It won't stop me from yapping. It won't stop me from you listening, you looking at it. And I'll be more for so because I've been online. See? Once you get well known, they won't touch you because they wonder why you've been killed. And all of you do. Oh, bloody, what? Wait, excuse me? And also I belong to UFO groups as well. But obviously I need, what? Have you seen my cat? This is my cat. And she is more intelligent than my next door neighbours. She really is. Oh, yeah. She's named after Mr. Bay in Malta. Yes, yes. And obviously, where I was saved by ETs was off Camino, because obviously that was the only way you could get to Camino. Come here. And she's unique. She is really unique. She is. Yeah, you are. She's hey, yeah, look, she's sitting there. She's going, oh yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting the attention as well. Hey, come here. No, go back. No. Come on. You know you can't. See, I've got so much stuff that I've got to sort out because my mum passing on. It's not very good for her to be, because she could hurt herself. Well, yeah, that's what my country has done to me. My so-called government. And I'm not the only one. I'm the only one that dare say anything. I was the only one where I live, and we live in a very rural, poor county. Nothing like London. London gets it all. We get bugger all. Well, it's mostly like all rural. They all think you're thick as shit. Oh no, sorry. The Londoners come up here to buy all our houses, and obviously think that they should change when a cockerel starts crowing or the cows stink because of manure. My dear, I think, oh, don't like it. Don't like it, do you? No. See? Oh, yeah, the internets have been very unstable. And I know why. Especially me. Oh, yeah. And my other, because that's what happens when me and my mate talks. My veteran of the Pentagon. And I call him the Pentagon. Well, yes. They're all gun first and arse later. My dad, right. He was an engineer, so they used to have what they call bombing competitions. And that's not good, I know, but that was in the 60s and that went out there, you know, whatever. They were doing far, far worse anyway. And we always won. UK Air Force always won. And you know why? Because we fought. Cool, calm, calculating. And obviously, my dad told us this, you know. And there's other things I haven't told you about what my mum, what the wives had to do during the Cold War. because it got really heavy. And I think I've said enough. But that is true. I'm so glad I watched that program with David Adair. And he's a well-known rocket scientist during NASA. And he knew Neil Armstrong. That's why Neil Armstrong went off the grid. And they knew. That's why they made him. They're not daft, you know. They go through psychological reports, you know. That's why I've been, well, I would have been there and I would have been quiet because of my father and stuff like that. And he would have been quiet for his family as well. That's why they didn't get Buzz Aldrin. They said, oh, you should have had Buzz Aldrin because he was always, no. And obviously, yes, he was the first man, but he must have been disgusted. He probably wanted to go, get off, you know, but the others, you know, wanted great fun. Oh, you know, on the snow, on the bit, well, obviously they didn't stay too long, but after that, he must have been disgusted. He didn't want anything to do. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all because I would have been the same. But as I was getting older and knew that time was limited, could be limited, well, I've been limited so many bloody times. I've got one foot in the bleeding grave, and we all have anyway, you know. But I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not afraid of dying. That's all. I fought for my mother, but again, the system, they stopped me from seeing my mum when she died. And there was no reason for that because of the home. And that was my evil family, my dad's family, and my evil brother. See? You listen to some just because eccentricity is not a mental illness. It's part of who I am. I've lived in different countries. I've seen different colours. I've seen different animals. I've seen different birds. I've seen so much. And I won't want to see it now. Because it won't be the same. It wasn't the same, as I said, when I went back to Cyprus. It won't be the same when I go back. I didn't like the Mediterranean. It was too dirty. And obviously, as I said, when I worked, this was me, okay? And obviously, we all got together and we obviously was Andalusia and obviously Bella Magna and obviously Puerto Banos. They said, oh, look, we got to go and have a look at the shops in Puerto Banos and have a look at the yachts. And I looked and I thought, how greedy, how gaudy, how disgusting. And I happened to just look at the sea, you know, in the port, and I saw these little fishes and all this oil going into their little environment. And I thought, and they said, look, what are you looking at? And I'm going, and poor fish. They knew me. They knew me. They didn't dislike me. They said, that's typical of you, isn't it? I said, yes, it is me. Yes. I love this living planet. And we are all connected because we don't need another planet explosion. No, we don't. We don't need it physically and we don't need it psychically. Because we could, that's why they're involved, the higher echelons. Destroy the whole universe. And that, because there's so many different dimensions. And even David Adair said that. So NASA knows this. And the Pentagon knows this. And every other science and military knows this. And look what they did to Afghanistan. And I know why they did that. The Russians are getting too heavy. Oh, the Chinese are getting... For God's sake, why didn't they just talk? And disarmed when you should have done. Everything. We don't need arms. We don't. We don't need nuclear weapons. We don't need this. Don't need to be under the threat. And the threat was horrible when I was a little girl, when I was a young girl as well. And I know ETs used to send me this information and what could happen. They sent it to every forces. And that's what the generals because they were so narrow-minded, won't listen, because all they think of is their egos and their power. And I'm generals of everything. I'm not saying about any Pacific country. I'm talking of all generals, because they are a bunch of crooks. They're crooked and they're greedy and they're dirty. Just like my family. I still love them. Still love my family. And I forgive. But I won't forget. And we mustn't forget. We mustn't forget. And they shouldn't start. I mean, that riot on Black Lives Matters. No, all life matters. And they should have gone around wrecking statues. They could have done it a better way than that. You know, get the police out and, you know, and whatever. And that's why the police didn't do much. Not because they know. Because obviously what COVID has done. COVID has opened our eyes. I opened my eyes because I nearly died of the flu. Beijing flu, would you believe it? And I still think it was a COVID. Thank you for sending me any messages. You know, I've just been said thank you by my mates, because I do belong to, maybe you're listening, I don't know. I do belong to Mars Anomalies, and it was Chris who got me back doing my love, because I always loved Adobe Paint Shop Pro. I cut my teeth on it when it first came out. In fact, I was about when the first computer. I worked for the first company that brought the first computers into UK, and that's the truth. And that's when I came out of archaeology. I'll always be an archaeologist. I'll always be a soldier. I'll always be a computer data analyst. And I did get up to a computer data analyst. But I know damn well that accident at work was no accident. No accident at all. No. Because I know what my family is capable of. We're very wealthy. I'm the poor, the bloody, excuse me, and my language. I'm the black sheep. No. There's no such thing as a black sheep. I'm a good sheep. But I don't, and also another thing, I don't believe in black and white. Well, I'm an artist. I don't believe in it. I don't see it. I don't see. I'm an unknown artist. I should have been known, but hey, again. My sex. No, you know, when I was a young girl, young teenager, everything had to be by men. I'm so glad, but it needs to change more. And what we need to do is disarm completely. Nothing. No guns, no nothing. We don't need it. Maybe that was one statement. Maybe no. I think no. We don't need it. We won't need it. The others don't need it. Other ETs that are lower than us and maybe near us. And that's what NASA wants. They want that technology. Russia, Germany, etc., etc. Right. There's weather wars, cyber wars, space wars, and again, they want war. Because it makes them money. I'm afraid my family was involved in that, but not with. And obviously, what they did in Afghanistan was disgusting as well. I'm not surprised because they did it Vietnam. But the Americans did it. I'm not saying all Americans are bad, because damn well not. No, of course not. I've got mates. No. But it's their ideology of, if you don't make it, you're nothing. If you don't make money, you're nothing. Money. No, money. We can live without money. We can live as a little colony with money, you know. We all helped each other out. I can. I mean, some people have got perfectly good bodies and they won't even use it because they're lazy. And also maybe because they don't know. They haven't been taught, or they've got no incentive. They don't know because life's been it's all been done for them. So you become programmized. You become programmized, you know. And then obviously, AI. Ooh, I've beaten AI as well. Because NASA's had this AI on, and they didn't get it either. You won't. You need a complicated mind, like us beings, open-minded. Like the scientists say, you only do you part. No, you do. No, I don't. You ladies who multitask, and I know my friend, he's a male, and he multitasks. So there you go. And he came from bloody nothing. He was called a dunce. He had to leave school to do some work. He's a millionaire now, but he's a good. When he gives, he don't gain anything else back. And he helps me. Huh? Can't believe it, but he does. He helps. No, he don't have to get paid, but obviously, no. And he's got cancer at the moment, but he's trying to deal with cancer without an oppo, because he did have another operation, and it's not nice. It's not nice, believe me. And I can't trust anyway in myself. You know, if I got cancer, I would try to do it the natural way, to get rid of the wastage, to get rid of it. And obviously, believe it or not, when I lost my memory, before I left my memory, I was a vegetarian, because I was told by my doctors, because of my ill health, what I had wrong with me, being an asthmatic and everything, it's best to have some form of protein. So I did eat cheese and eggs. And the odd bit of fish. I won't eat the fish now. Not now, the oceans, no. And I can smell it. I can taste it, you know. And when I was out of my head, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know Leslie Ann Warren. I didn't know Leslie Ann Warren. I was something that was completely something I abhorred. I mean, I would have been a killer. I nearly did. But thank God. No. Violence is not the way. Violence will never be the way. And it won't make you feel any happier. No? These people who assassinate and murder and do these things, they become not a being. They're a human. A human with no feelings, a bit like a robot, cold, hard, like my family, because they've married the wrong kind. And obviously they've beaten them up. They've beaten, in a way, brainwashed them, like my brother's been brainwashed. And they become, when I do. When I was a little girl, I remember saying to my mummy, I used to say to her, they smell horrible, mummy. Shut up. Here. That's typical, isn't it? And I actually said, Mum, they don't taste nice. They don't smell nice. And Mum said to me, no, they're not a nice person. So, anyway, she got me. And nothing was said of that anymore. But why do you think I was a loner? They thought I had autism. Telepathic. I didn't want to be around others who I could, and I hadn't got the ability to block it at that time. I was only little, and obviously it was more enhanced. Obviously, when the ET opposite, I think I've been connecting with it since I nearly died of scarlet fever. I was a baby. Anyway, I imagine it, knowing everybody's thoughts and what they would like to do when they got home, beat the missus, all their inner secrets. Go and sort the little girl out, or, things like that, and all that and everything. And, I'm going to bloody beat that little bastard or whatever, And I heard that. I can't explain it. I sensed it. It's stronger now. And I lost it when I lost my memory. But I just can't be abide around it, you know. All I'll say, they smell like shit. And I can't stand it. I can't stand it at all, you know. And also it's to do with my PTSD also makes you more psychic. Because you've gone through death, you know, and you survived death. And I nearly died 30 odd times. I counted it, how many times. And by Mother Nature, tornado, earthquake, tsunami, which was the earthquake in Turkey, because we lived in Turkey. And I don't want to go back there. Not until it's all improved. You know, and the sea, you know, I remember the sea being like, it was that clear. Even in the deep parts of the water, you could see it was like a mill pond, you know? And you could see at the bottom. And we saw artifacts, ancient artifacts in the sea. And nobody believed us. Oh, no, they wouldn't. As a family, we found a pyramid in the Mediterranean. And nobody found it. I know where it is. But nobody will believe me because they all thought, yeah. No, I'm not. I now can come out and say to you, and I tell you what, finding this photograph and finding what's in this photograph, beneath it, beneath everything, all the lies, all the crap they've told you, makes me feel, yes, I'm not. I've had, and obviously my mum had contact, dad had contact. So you've got two families marrying, contactee marrying. My brother, but he was frightened. No, and he listened to his peers. I never did. No, I wouldn't. I was a loner. Excuse me. I like. When this is a true story, by the way. When Queen wasn't big, and they were coming, actually a few months after we saw them, and they came to the camp entertainment, you know, and officers' mess, I think it was, or something, sergeant's officers' mess. And obviously, that's where we had all our entertainment, if you don't know the forces. The adults, not us. Anyway, we were teenagers. And we knew Queen, and we wanted to see Queen really heavily. My brother, a couple of others, and obviously me. And we were all in all forces children, and we all lived on the camp. We all lived on the camp, not outside the camp, on the camp, because we had armed soldiers patrolling us. And that was during the Cold War, obviously. And we thought we got away with it. So we went to see, we got into the officers' mess or whatever, and sergeant's mess or senior NCOs, whatever. And because they had the best entertainment, they really did at that time. Because everybody lived on camp. Everybody lived on camp when it was Cold War, you know, you weren't allowed to. And we got to see it. Brilliant oh yeah. And he did obviously Bohemian Rhapsody, and I actually said, and they all told me to shut up because nobody listened to me. I was the youngest and smallest. I said, that's going to make a big hit. It's going to be really, really. Shut up. I told you, my brother was very nice to me. And now I realise that. And he shut up when it did. But the next morning, because obviously Monday morning, when Dad came back from work, all the dads had been on the carpet. So we were all grounded. But I didn't mind, because I prefer to be grounded, because I had my books, you know. I had my books and my drawings and I wrote as well. I wrote books. I wrote all sorts. But again, being me, I was not allowed. I was not allowed. I was not allowed to become part of literary society. I can write now. I've been writing my story, but obviously, and obviously the stupid technology doesn't, it's no good. It's a gimmick. You know, doesn't do it right. Because your voice changes, you know. But as I said, my dad said, right, that's it, you're all grounded. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Right. Oh, hello. I don't know who you are. I don't know. Anyway, but I can't write, so excuse me. My texting is, I only managed to text that, and now my hands are not brilliant. And it's cold. I can't afford the heating either. Oh, no, I'm not asking for charity. Don't want charity, thank you. I'm a soldier. That's why I'm in a lot of layers. Well, we'll all have to be. You should know that anyway, from your grandparents. If you lived in Poland, because I had friends who were Polish friends when we were in Germany, and obviously bloody cold winters there, tell you. And I also been to the camp, Auschwitz. You don't treat anybody like that. Not anybody. Just because we're not different. We're not different at all. All right, we've got different cultures. But if we all believe in a spiritual, something far powerful than us, spiritually, you know, that's what they want. They want us all to attack each other. But the thing is, you can turn soldiers to you. They all have children. They all have families. Don't have to do what the men with money. No. I'm not saying do it nastily, go out like they did in Black. No, that's not the way to do it. You get it peacefully. You come together. Like the Buddhist monks against the Nazis. And they sat down. All right, they got shot, but they sat down peacefully and wasn't afraid to die. And that must have made a few. Some weren't all gone, but then you know anyway that the Nazis were full of drugs. That's what went for the when they went through France, like a dose of salts. I should know because I've been without a mind. I've been there. Not now, but I was. I was when I lost my memory, and I was just a body. I'm full of adrenaline. I'm full of vengeance. Vengeance is not the way. No. I mean, if something is not right and they're going against the law, and maybe they've done a lot of things against you, but they've gotten away, you know, why should they get away with something? Why should they? You know, they've done something against the law and they get away with it. Nobody should get away with it. Thank you. Why should they get away with it? They're no different to us. They go to the bleeding toilet, they vomit, they do whatever. Well, it just shows you the bloody astronauts did it. And that's why ETs didn't like it. Because NASA didn't think. They went to in like a bull in a china shop. Like a lot of men. Not all men, because I've come across some really good guys. I've got two good guys who are helping me. Oh yeah, one, millionaire. He keeps it quiet, but he's a millionaire. And he gives money away. And he got it through, and he got money through the hard way, working hard. Had his own, started off window cleaning business, and then eventually he got his own cleaning business. Very happily married, but his wife's going through a lot of bad things at the moment because some of her friends are dying. I mean, like my two, and obviously my other mate, he's got to go through a severe operation. He's shitting himself. And I said, look, have faith. Keep faith. Keep strong. You know? You'll get there. And that's what we all got to do. Keep the faith. Don't listen to all the shit. You'll soon know. It tells you. You can tell. You know. You know. We're all brothers and sisters. I don't care. I've got African I've got African sisters, African brothers, American, did have Mexican, but obviously, you know, and I've known them for nearly, 50 years. No. Yes. 50. I would say about 49 years. 48 years. And she's still online to me. Misses me, knows how much problems I've gone through. Been there when I was suicidal. But suicide's not the answer. Piss everybody off and survive, I say, you know. You can do more alive than dead. Well, you can leave your legacy, and I hope to leave a legacy. I want to leave a legacy to all of you. Couldn't have children. I mean, I make my own herbs. I make my own. I've done that as well. I'm a herbalist. I've made jewelry. I've done all sorts. I could have been a millionaire. In fact, I was going to be, but I'm afraid that didn't happen. It was all taken away from me by one event. And obviously, no help. Misdiagnosed. But I don't hate them. I don't hate anybody. Why should I hate anybody? I survived. I might not, I forgive, but I won't forget. And that's the way we're meant to be. Forgive, but don't forget, because if you don't forgive, it makes you bitter, twist. My brother's that. He's full of so much hatred. And it's sad to see, you know, because he wasn't like that. He might have been but you see, PTSD, he got it when we survived the tornado and the earthquake and the tsunami and then the war and then other bloody things. I mean, you know, Beijing flu, evil gits, nearly being killed at work because of being asphyxiated. But I don't hate them. Did. Not anymore. Because I wasn't well. Wasn't thinking straight. That's what all these git faces. They think they are. Because really, the only simple thing they're going to do is give their money away and see where it's going. Build hospitals for poor souls. Free hospitals and good treatment. And they've got treatment for they've got cures for cancer, but they haven't used it. They haven't used that money. They use the money for bloody killing, mass extinction. Goodness sake. And it's happened before. But ETs now know it's not the way to go, because they know the infrastructure with the cosmos and the universe, with the dimensions, is so fragile. Imagine Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and when they first split the first atom, and they've done this to the world, not worse. Obviously, I've got a very small carbon print because I've been left with a bill that's not mine. It's my family's, not my mum's, and the government's really. Government shouldn't have let my mother do it. But do I hate? No, I don't hate them. Don't hate anyone. Why should hate is such a word that we don't really want to. We don't want to see. We don't want to know. You know. We don't want hate. I don't hate you because you're Russian or whatever you come from. I don't care. You're from Pakistan or whatever. You're Muslim, whatever. Because when I was a child, I rubbed shoulders with everybody, all different religions you can think of. I'm United Nations in my own self. Got Middle Eastern in me, my blood. I've got French, I've got Viking, I've got Spanish, Italian, maybe, but we all come from the same place. It's true about the 2012 film about, we've all got relatives from this specific place, and it is. But it is true. We should have been, but we have our protectors, and they protected us all our lives, and they would help us. But others, and that's why I'm saying we are not alone, and we are the majority, not the minority. They are. We could easily overrun them, but obviously it will be a painful time. But it's been done before. But obviously we don't let anybody else dictate to us. And what? All this saying that they probe us, well, I can't, they probe me. I can remember quite a few. I mean, I remember also another time when we were on another base, another NATO base in UK, obviously. And I woke up. My mum said I went missing, and she went looking for me because I sleepwalk. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I sleepwalk, and I talk in my sleep as well. So, oh, no, I couldn't live with anybody. You must be joking. No, because I go out at a certain time. Well, yeah, because I got PTSD, and Dad sleepwalk because we PTSD. Most of those forces did. Oh, please excuse me, I'm pain. And obviously, my mum said I went missing, and then I back in my bed, and I was telling her about wheels, mum, wheels, these wheels. And mum said I couldn't stop talking about these wheels. That's fascinating. Big wheels, mum. Big wheels, I went, what? I was like, we come back to UK. It was about 7, I think. I think before we went to Cyprus. So, one of them. And obviously we lived in Singapore in the 60s. That's how the NASA found my dad. Oh, yeah. And also the Australian Air Force wanted me dad, headhunted for me dad. It was brilliant. But he didn't want it. He had. Do you know something? I'm going to leave you with this, okay? I'll all leave you with this. And as I said, I believe from my heart, love, equality, peace in the universe. In the universe, in the cosmos, okay? And I do really believe in that. And I'm going to leave you with this. I remember seeing my father, and he was looking at my mummy, and his eyes were sparkling with the love, all the love. I don't believe love is an emotion. I believe it's a power, and it's the biggest power we can have all for each other in the universe. They all know that. We know that, some of us. I mean, and my mum said, when I told her that, she said, I've seen it. I've seen him looking at you two like that. And my brother choose to hurt my father and leave that beautiful love. And he was an amazing father, amazing daddy, an amazing man, a genius of a man. And I'm so thankful that them teachings came to the fore at the right time. And also ETs. Well, yeah, they download to you, without you knowing. But these lot, they don't want to give up. No, they don't. They're the cause. But you don't want to kill them and let them live life like we do. They won't survive. They're not surviving now. Oh, nobody loves us. Well, excuse me. Why don't you give? We're meant to give. when we give, and I mean give, not falsely, give of ourselves. I do. That's why my helpers love me. You know, I've helped them. I help them with the smallest thing I can think of. Even the gifts I've been given, I never got rid of, because I always think that taking a part of their spiritual love for you. If you didn't like it, kept it, because it was the gift itself, the spiritual, the gift of love. Even no matter what it was, it's like when I used to pick flowers for my mum. Mine was never dead, obviously, but, you know, kids pick their flowers for their mum and might be half dead. You still take them and you put them in water. And that's what you should feel. Don't give just because you know, imagine having to be a billionaire. Oh, God, no. My worst nightmare. Imagine everybody doing, and you don't know who your friends are. And I mean, I've never known who my bloody friends are, but my spirituality has made me very, very sensitive in telepathic being, knowing who. Keep well away from me, please. They stink like, because they've been evil to me, especially the git, the man. But I haven't left. I'm not going to leave. He told me to my face in my mother's home, because he walked in my mother's home like it was his. Probably she's never listened to me. No, of course not. And please forgive me for going on, but I have to tell you this. Complete difference. And obviously, I said, what are you doing in here? My mother's in here. This is my mother's house. Nobody's going to believe you because you're delusional. You're a nutcase. Because I have PTSD and I've done my duty to my country. And I've seen things that you won't even... No, it's like these fights, these little pesky little fights they used to do on... They're nothing compared to what really is fighting, because you know that other person is going to kill you just as well as you. I did not like what I saw become of Cyprus, my lovely little home, and I don't want it, and you shouldn't want it. The children shouldn't want it. Children shouldn't want it. And I like the way that they're not even thinking of it's not global warming, by the way. It's global changing. They don't want to tell you that they'd rather leave us in by being fried to death while they were underneath. But what were they inherited, huh? Right, they've got cities underneath, but they've got to live with each other. And they're the bad of the bad. There's nothing good in there. They're all New World Order down there. So, they'd war anyway. They nuke themselves, like what happened on Mars. That is for another time, okay? And I'll tell you all about that. Please subscribe to me. I will have evidence. Please forgive my hands. Roll on spring, like we all say, because that's the start of new beginnings. And obviously I can start doing my veggies in the house, and then, you know, and I'm eating seedlings now. I've been making my own seedlings in me. And also, hopefully they're not GMO. I can't test them. You know what GMO is? They won't seed again. So they'll stop all the seeding. In other words, they will be dictating to us what we eat. No way, Jose. You don't have to eat bare grass, which don't bother me because I'm eating it now. You know, obviously, clover. You know what you've seen. You probably know. It's what they did. It's what they've done on the moon. But what they did think of from going from the moon and they went to the moon too quickly. They didn't think of, obviously, the two scientists only think with one mind. What's the saying? Leave with this. What's the saying? Jack of all trades, master at none. No, it's not. Think of it logically. My father was a jack of all trades and mastered all. I'm a Jill of all trades and I'm mistress of all. Because if you're a multitasker, you're very, 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 very brilliant. Because Tesla was. He went from one thing to another, to another, to another. I'm the same. My dad did as well. One thing he could not do was put it on paper. I can do both, but obviously, but there will be ways. There's obviously recording. I remember having recording of lots of brilliant things. I'm afraid my next door neighbour nicked it, wiped it out, and must have sold it on eBay, like they did do. They did do. Did it with my mum. A lot of stuff gone missing, and she was a collector. We got stuff from overseas, which now you can't get. You can't get. Or it's worth too much money. You can't get. But one thing I will tell you, when we did go overseas with my parents, we were told that we couldn't take much with us. So we had to get, and obviously we gave to charity. And I worked for charity as well. My brother didn't do that. My family never worked. Oh, they did, but they stole from charity as well. There you go. Not evil, huh? But I feel sorry for them. I don't hate them. I feel sorry for them. And I forgive them. Because if you don't forgive, I was told this by a Hell's Angel who eventually got out. And he got out by completely being different. And he said to me, and he was right, I was in a lot of danger of myself. And he said, please, and he didn't want to talk to me anymore because obviously he was trying to not think about all the horrible things he did as what I was saying. And I thank God for meeting him. I really do. Do I believe in God? Yes. He chooses to. Something far higher and powerful than they are. Oh yeah. And the universe is endless and endless and endless and endless and endless and endless. And the Big Bang wasn't a really Big Bang that started it all. Science got that wrong. Told you they just went with one thing. And that David Adair was just an ordinary young boy who was born with a gift. Probably ET gave it to him. And he knows that. But, told you, you put in a funny farm. Or you're killed if you lived in America. I didn't live in America. Could I? Could I? My dad? No. I think he knew he'd get hold of him and they'd get hold of me. And no way. No. Because they did remote viewing. And I've done it. But I don't do it their way. They're too regimented. I don't have to have coordinates. I just go off. I always say I go off planet. And I do go off planet. And that's saved me a few times as well. And it helps me with my pain as well. Because I've nearly died. And you do have that ability when you've nearly died. Well, a few times. Take care. God bless. Or whatever, whoever you are, Muhammad, inshallah, whatever. I'm not bothered as long as you are spiritual and you have an open mind to believe that mister. What? Oh, she wants, so I have to go. You see? And so be safe, okay? And I'll talk to you all soon, all right? And please subscribe to me because you will be quite pleasantly surprised. I pleasantly surprised my friends who've seen what I'm working with, but you won't see that straight away. You'll see the start of my expedition, I call it, obviously being an archaeologist and obviously, you know, getting through all the soil and all the crap that was NASA and all the lies and the fraud and everything. I call that all the rubbish, all the soil and everything. All right, wait a minute. Oh. Anyway, let me turn it off, you need it. Go on there. Go on, bring that. Come on. What? What? Do I say goodbye? Come on. So it's goodbye from her and goodbye from me. My apologies, I've been too long. I will try to not be so long next time, but obviously I've had a lot to tell you because I find out my mind goes and a brainy person does do that, you know. And also, I'm a scientist, a real true scientist like Tesla, you know. Okay, and yeah. So goodbye. Come on, let Mister. Oh, sit there then, so I can get hold. Bit hard for me at the moment. My apologies. I can't move my arm. Oh, a minute, and my hand. Oh, I've been doing some work, you see. Oh, I might do a little bit more. I love it. I love doing what I do. I love it. I love Photoshop. I love doing. I was deobfuscating photographs and stuff like that. But this is my. Oh, my love. Right. Take care. God bless. Bye bye. Say goodbye, Mister. Say goodbye. Yeah, say goodbye. No, she's not saying goodbye. She's going, I want some food. Take care. Be safe. Bye.